Over the last several decades, the sophistication and size of tillage implements have kept pace with the growing trend to larger farms with greater acreage under cultivation. During these years, the business of farming has steadily reshaped itself to be more efficient, more productive, and more cost-effective than any time in the past. Case IH has responded to the needs of farmers by designing and building tillage implements that can accomplish field work faster, better, and with greater impact on fuel efficiency. New modular designs increase strength and allow each model in the Case IH family of tillage implements to be sized accurately to horsepower. Wide-open mulch till design and exclusive case tooling manage residue with superior results. When considered together, the features of these state-of-the-art tillage implements give Case IH a powerful edge over others in the field. The newest model in the unsurpassed Case IH line, the 4300 Mulch Till Field Cultivator, offers excellent residue flow along with the biggest mainframe in the business. Its rugged 4-inch by 4-inch mainframe is perfect for high-speed work with high-horsepower tractors, and it can be equipped with exclusive Case IH Vibra Shank or Vibra Chisel cultivator tooling that offers smooth residue flow for non-stop productivity. These and many other advanced features confirm that the Case IH 4300 Mulch Till Field Cultivator can accomplish field work with a greater degree of efficiency, accuracy, and cost savings than ever realized before. Becoming familiar with the operational and adjustment features of this impressive piece of equipment is an important first step in understanding the full capabilities of the 4300 Mulch Till Field Cultivator. This video, along with the operator's manual, will help build that understanding by introducing the features of the 4300 along with an explanation of their operation and adjustment. A key feature of the 4300 is its rugged modular mainframe. The modular design allows various models of the 4300 to be configured as a 16-foot implement, and then, if greater horsepower is introduced, it can be extended up to 53 feet with the addition of primary wings and secondary wings. This is a practical way to enhance a tillage investment rather than eliminating it when a farming operation reaches for greater tractor power. The operator's manual is helpful in explaining minimum tractor drawbar horsepower requirements for the 4300. This important information is presented in a straightforward way and should always be factored into the customer's decision-making. A basic requirement needed to pull the 4300 is a tractor equipped with a drawbar that's mounted approximately 19 inches above the ground. On rigid frame tractors, the swinging drawbar should be pinned in the middle. On articulated or track-type tractors, the drawbar must be allowed to swing a couple of inches both ways. To transport the 4300, especially if it's on a public road, the drawbar must be pinned in the center. Because of the 4300's standard size, width, and height, it is important to take added precautions. Narrow bridges and low underpasses may have allowed easy passage with earlier generations of smaller implements, but the 4300 will likely challenge these potential obstacles on the way to the field. A correctly sized safety hitch pin is mandatory equipment on the 4300. For clevis hitches, a 1.5-inch pin is appropriate. For a tongue-type hitch, a 2-inch pin is the correct size. Another mandatory component for securing the 4300 is a safety chain that is properly fitted to the tractor. The correct amount of slack between the implement and tractor can be determined by making full turns in both directions. The chain should be kept as short as possible, but if it binds when a tight turn is made, then it should be lengthened appropriately. A safety chain clevis, if equipped, should always be used for support. All of these components are available from Case IH dealers. Hydraulic system couplings are another important linkage in the area of the drawbar. Efficient and safe hydraulic function of the 4300 is dependent upon the correct sizing of hydraulic cylinders as well as the proper connection of hydraulic hoses to the tractor's remote hydraulic system. To assure convenient and consistent hydraulic control operation from the tractor cab, always connect the field cultivator lift circuit hoses to tractor remote coupler number 1 and the wing fold circuit hoses to tractor remote coupler number 2. Operational consistency is reinforced for the operator when the circuit hoses are connected systematically so that pulling the hydraulic levers rearward raises the field cultivator or folds the wings, and conversely, pushing the hydraulic levers forward lowers the field cultivator or unfolds the wings. If this result is not achieved, simply reverse the order of the hose connections within the specific circuit. Keep in mind that tremendous forces are involved in lifting and carrying these extra-large implements. If a hydraulic cylinder has been improperly adjusted, sized, matched, or if it has been reversed or relocated on the implement, it can be dangerous or cause significant damage. That's why it's important to always consult the operator's manual for correct installation information and operational guidance regarding hydraulic cylinders. Particular awareness should be applied to some of the subtle aspects of the hydraulic system's primary lifting components. The following notes are of particular importance. When a rock shaft has 2 depth control cylinders, both clevis yokes must be set to the same length. On cultivators that have mechanical depth stop control cylinders on the inner or primary wings, both of them must be identical in size. Cultivators with outer or secondary wings must also employ identical depth control hydraulic cylinders. Always pair the transport stops for the mainframe lift cylinders. The transport stops must be the same length, and it is important to realize that they must both be used when the implement is being transported. Anytime a cylinder or hose is disconnected, be sure it is reassembled according to specified directions. Consult the appropriate hydraulic diagram in the operator's manual for guidance. The rock shaft on the 4300 mainframe has 2 depth control rods on it. Both rods must be adjusted identically with the same length of thread visible. In cold weather or early spring, be sure that inactive implements are stored with their ground tools out of the frozen earth. If this precaution is not taken, damage will inevitably result if the implement is raised. To prepare the 4300 for proper field operation, it needs to be leveled from front to rear and the depth control needs to be set. This is accomplished with the level lift depth control crank adjustment. Before beginning this procedure, make sure that tire pressures on the implement are equal. After that, park the tractor and field cultivator on a level surface. Lower the implement so that the shovels or points are suspended just above the ground. Then, turn the level lift depth control crank until the front of the frame is the same height from the ground as the rear. The 4300 will remain level even if the depth is changed, so long as the tractor drawbar height remains the same. The wheels on the mainframe and wing frames are used for transport, turning in the field, and for controlling depth. To adjust them, make sure that the tire pressures are correct. Then place the implement on a level surface, observing that the 4300 is level front to rear. Lower the cultivator and hold the remote hydraulic lever until the depth cylinders are fully retracted. The initial setting should reveal 8 inches of thread exposed between the end of the strut and the crank trunnion. This position will allow the ground tools to enter the soil at about 4 inches for the Vibra shank model and at about 7.5 inches for the Vibra chisel model. Each turn of the crank will move the ground tools up or down about 1/2 inch. Depth can be regulated from 0 to 7 inches on the Vibra shank model and from 0 to 8 inches on the Vibra chisel model. Do not turn the crank outward or counterclockwise more than 9.25 inches, or the screw may come out of the strut, causing the cultivator to fall. Because there are 2 depth struts on the main frame attached to the rock shaft, turn the adjusting crank 1 turn at a time on each side to avoid putting the rock shaft in a bind. After the initial depth adjustment is made, Lower the 4300 into the ground and move forward a few feet. Push and hold the remote valve lever to be sure the hydraulic cylinders are fully retracted so that the struts are controlling depth, not the cylinders. After this is accomplished, stop the tractor and shut off the engine. Check the depth of a point or shovel near each depth control wheel, keeping in mind differences in field conditions across the width of the cultivator. If one side is deeper than the other, adjust the depth control struts as necessary. Typically, all of the ground tools will be at the same depth if the implement is level front to rear and side to side. Once the depth is determined to be satisfactory, then adjust the depth indicator as required. To do this, loosen the U-bolt nuts holding the depth indicator pointer and rotate the U-bolt on the rock shaft until the pointer is at the adjusted depth. Don't tighten the arm pivot bolt. It must be free to pivot. It is important to keep in mind that the numbers on the indicator panel are references and do not necessarily indicate true depth. Also remember that worn shovels or points will also change the working depth even if the pointer doesn't indicate it. The flat, vertical, or double fold configurations of the 4300 are an indication of its versatile design. To fold the field cultivator, raise the plow on the depth control wheels and install the safety locks. The wing fold cylinders can then be operated. On flat fold units, the wings will fold and connect with the stops. On double fold implements, the outer or secondary wings will fold all the way to the stops. Then the inner primary wings will fold and the two transport locks will engage automatically. The automatic lock should be inspected to ensure they are secured. If the wings fold faster than appropriate, either adjust the remote valve flow control or throttle the engine down as needed. During unfolding, the primary wings will disengage first. If the cultivator has automatic safety transport locks, they will disengage automatically. After the wings are unfolded, hold the remote lever briefly to make sure the cylinders are fully extended. Remove the safety locks from the mainframe depth control cylinders and secure them in the storage position. Due to normal hydraulic seepage within the system, a wing may occasionally droop out of level with the rest of the machine. Should this happen, the depth control cylinders need to be rephased. A bypass port in the rod end of each depth control cylinder allows oil to flow to the next slave cylinder in the circuit when the remote valve is held briefly rearward. Normally, this rephasing is automatic because of the jolt of high hydraulic pressure that occurs when the remote hydraulic lever unlatches to the neutral position. The mechanical depth stops on the 4300 assure consistent working depth. This important feature also works to extend the integrity of the hydraulic system, freeing it from the wear and tear of holding the implement to the operator's chosen soil depth as it travels over the field. There are two types of wing gauge wheels available for those customers who have a need for them. Adjusting both types begins with the gauge wheels raised well above the ground, thereby lowering the cultivator into the soil to working depth. After this is accomplished, the tractor should be stopped. With the pin-type gauge wheel, pull the pins and lower the gauge wheel to the ground. Insert the retainer pins in a hole that will result in slight ground pressure on the tire. It may be necessary to raise the cultivator just a bit in order to install the pin in the appropriate hole. On the crank adjustable gauge wheel, turn the crank to the desired setting, again with slight downward pressure on the ground. Both gauge wheels must be adjusted to the same degree for proper operation of the 4300. The 4300 uses true 5-rank shank spacing that allows for heavy residue passage without plugging. The advanced mulch till design includes new maxi-width sweeps, arranged to optimize sweep overlap for full coverage and minimum draft. Each high-carbon steel sweep includes top bevel plating for sharp, sure penetration and long wear. As its name implies, the 4300 Mulch Till Cultivator can be equipped with an optional mulcher attachment. Because of the mulcher's extra weight at the rear of the implement, be sure to remove the depth cylinder safety channels and lower the machine to the ground before setting the hitch jack stand and disconnecting from the tractor. If this is not done, the weight of the mulcher could cause the field cultivator to tip backward, resulting in danger to the implement and anyone close by. An optional rear jack stand is available, ensuring that this never needs to occur. Vibra-shank and Vibra-chisel cultivator tooling allows the 4300 to be equipped for specific farming applications. The Vibra-shank is specially adapted for chemical incorporation and features 110 pounds of trip force. For springtime primary tillage, the Vibra-chisel offers 180 pounds of trip force. Both feature a big 10.5-inch trip clearance. Both types of cultivator tooling feature 30 inches of fore and aft clearance for continuous plug-free operation. A notable difference between cultivator tools of the Vibra-shank and Vibra-chisel are the number and spacing of shanks. For a given width, the Vibra-shank has more shanks than the Vibra-chisel. Spacing is 6.7 inches on the Vibra-shank compared to 9 inches of spacing for the Vibra-chisel. The Vibra-shank also has a lower breakaway pressure and smaller shanks than the Vibra-chisel. The Vibra-chisel is heavier in weight for a given width and usually requires more horsepower because of its application. The Vibra-shank cultivator can be operated up to a working depth of 7 inches, while the Vibra-chisel field cultivator can be operated up to a working depth of 8 inches. The 4300 operates best from 4 to 7 miles per hour. The higher speeds increase soil mixing and incorporation of crop residue. The 4300 field cultivator should always be raised completely out of the ground when backing up or making sharp turns. This prevents damage to the ground tools. Certain shank locations on the 4300 result in sweeps being too close to the tires. These sweeps can be modified with a cutting torch during dealer prep. For complete information on modifying sweeps on the 4300 field cultivator, the operator's manual should be consulted. Desirable performance in a variety of soil conditions is possible because of a wide array of groundworking tools that are available for the 4300. For the Vibra-shank, there are 2 reversible chisel points, 1 3/4 inches and 2 inches wide, a pencil point and a reversible pencil point, which are both 2 inches wide. All 4 of these are designed to help control grassy-type weeds whose roots need to be brought to the surface. The 4.5-inch sweep is for general tillage and weed control in soil that is not too hard. The 7.5-inch sweep is for weeds that need to be cut off below the surface and for summer fallow. The 9-inch sweep on the Vibra-shank is for light secondary tillage. It should not be used in rocky conditions. Which tool is appropriate on the 4300 is a matter of local conditions and the type of work the implement will be engaged in. For the Vibra-chisel, there is a reversible spike point for tearing up grass and legume sod. A reversible chisel point is available for deep tillage. A reversible shovel works well for ridging and shallow work. And a twisted shovel can be used for heavy trash conditions. Always use right and left twisted shovels in equal numbers. There are also 5 widths of sweeps for the Vibra-chisel: 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16 inches wide. All of them are for ridging and for shallow work. The 12, 14, and 16-inch sweeps are available 1/4 inch thick. When using a new field cultivator for the first time, it is strongly recommended to check all bolts for proper tightness. This is because there may be some imperfections in the metal between matching bolted parts. These imperfections will polish out early in the life of the implement. The operator's manual is always the best source for operational and adjustment information. Take the time to read it. The information gained will extend the life of the 4300 long into the future. The Case IH 4300 Mulch Till Field Cultivator offers an exciting combination of features that places it in the forefront of the competition. Becoming familiar with this implement's cutting-edge features is the first step in building excitement about the 4300's tremendous impact on productivity, unique fuel-saving design, and remarkable residue-managing features. The Case IH 4300 Mulch Till Field Cultivator is not just another implement. It's advanced technology that sets a new tillage standard for the field. The 4300 Mulch Till Field Cultivator, the latest addition to the unsurpassed line of tillage implements from Case IH.